Howdy ho, people! Welcome back to the temple. Alright, so today's topic, I found the video up on Dr. Phil's channel. He's talking about like a bunch of phrases that apparently you shouldn't be saying anymore. These phrases are being canceled. And in my attempt to being canceled, I'm just gonna say all of them. I highly doubt anything's gonna happen. I don't think this whole Dr. Phil stick is like serious. I don't think people are like raising hell and something. It's really not that big of a deal. It's just some guy that came on Dr. Phil thinking there are certain words and certain phrases that should be canceled, and he voices his opinion, and then people kind of, I guess, give a response to what he says. It's really not that big of a deal by the end of the day. I don't think what he's bringing to the table isn't going to cause any revolution, or people are actually going to take his words seriously and like actually legitimately cancel all these words. But yeah, just check the video out real quick.
We have a graphic of words or phrases that now you can't say. You can't say that. I mentioned a few of them before, and I'm just curious.
Alright guys, so going from top left to bottom right, here are some phrases if you say it, you're probably gonna get canceled. First world problem, grandfathered in, powwow / tribe, lame, mom and dad, master bedroom, peanut gallery, ghetto, tone deaf, rainstorm, lowest on the totem pole, blindside, blind spot, spook, jip. Honestly, I don't even recognize like half this word. Like, what the hell is a jip? And a powwow? Is that like a bunch of people gathering together or something? Like why are these phrases being canceled? First world problem? We live in America. We have first world problem all the time. So you're gonna get canceled for saying first world problem now? Blind spot. Okay, so when you're driving a car, you know how like you look on the blind spot just to make sure like there's no cars where your mirrors can't seem to capture. We're gonna get canceled for saying blind spot because it offends blind people? What the hell does that have to do with blind people? Brainstorm? Okay, so if you're in a meeting and you're gathering ideas, whether they're good or bad, you're just having ideas, and you're just spouting out whatever that comes to mind. Gosh, I just wish there's a word that you can say without getting canceled. Mom and dad? Shit, I had a mom and dad once. Now I just have a mom, but am I gonna get canceled for saying mom and dad now? Like, what? Lame? Okay, I can kind of see lame, but still, that's kind of unreasonable. Whatever, man. This is getting ridiculous, man.
Some of these maybe are obvious, but if you know why some of these are on the list now.
Mom and dad, I see why that would be up there.
Okay, why would mom and dad be up there?
I have a daughter with another woman, and when it's being taught in school that, that's just the norm, that it's just mom and dad, it kind of offends us.
So the thing is, when school are teaching about mom and dad, they're teaching about like biology and like basic fact. Like, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a mom and dad, right? Or let's break it down: a female adult and an adult male. Right? There's nothing wrong with being raised by a mother and a mother, or a father and a father. No one is saying like this is wrong. Mom and dad is the only way, is the right way. No one is shaming anybody for having a two-mother household or a two-father household. Like, I don't know. I just feel like these people are just being offended when no one's really trying to be offensive. Like, I'm sorry that your child feel offended and feel weird, and like I think that's normal that every kid feels weird, feel off about whatever. Pick your poison as a kid. You can get offended literally over anything, and to cancel mom and dad. I don't know, man. I feel like this is just not the right way of doing it.
Because we are lesbians, you know what I mean? We come from the community, and it makes us feel like we're not important enough to be called mom and mom or parents.
So should I stop saying that?
No, not you.
Because you're mom and mom?
No, not you per se. I'm just saying as far as it's being taught.
Anybody. If that was our experience, yours is mom and mom, I'm happy to say mom and mom, but why would mom and dad be on the don't say list?
See, and that's the thing. Like, I don't have any issues with saying mom and mom or dad and dad. I don't think anyone would have an issue with saying that. I mean, if that's your reality, then like there's no shame. There's like why would anybody take offense to this? So with that being said, this is kind of why I thought this whole entire like Dr. Phil thing was like a troll. Like, I genuinely cannot tell if this entire episode is actually serious or not.
Why not add mom and mom?
I get your point
dad
on
and
that.
dad. But why is mom and dad offensive to your sensibilities?
I mean, to be honest, because it's being taught to my daughter, and she doesn't have a father figure. she sees two mothers. And so every time she reads something that says dad in there, you can see a little bit in her eyes. It's like, well, what's going on over there? Why don't I have a dad?
I mean, if your child is having a hard time understanding why there's two moms instead of like, you know, a mom and dad because like the school is saying that this is the norm, like how do you think kids are raised like in a single mother household or a single father household feel? Like, I mean, all these kids are going to start feeling marginalized, right? And like that's just how the world is. And your job as a parent just pretty much explain to them like, hey, you know, it's all cool, you know, I still love you and I'm your mom, and like, you know, she's your mom as well, and like, you know, just because people saying this is the norm doesn't mean that like we're gonna treat you any different. Your job is to show your kid compassion and to answer them, you know, these kind of difficult questions. And like, actually, you know what, I don't think this is even that difficult of a question. Just explain to them.
So it's a sensibility issue on the child's part as well. So I'm looking out for my daughter in that sense.
Well, isn't that a conversation that you should be having with your daughter anyway?
Oh,
so
we
that
have.
she doesn't take offense to terms
We
like this?
definitely have had that conversation, but in the same sense, there is an accountability for the school as well. I feel like when they're putting that inside of our homework and stuff like that, it's making the kid feel a certain type of way.
Help me out here.
It is the heterosexism of it all. Mom and dad are not canceled phrases. I can assure you, in schools all across the United States, school leaders are sending memos and teachers are sending memos home with their children about mom and dad. I think what we're missing here is the opportunity to be decidedly and deliberately inclusive of all parents.
I agree.
Okay, so I kind of get where this guy's coming from. So he wants to be more inclusive. So like, but the thing is, when you're working for a school and you're sending out a letter to like, you know, the parent, right? Like, how do you properly address literally everybody that's on the spectrum? Like, oh, you know, attention mom and dad, attention mom and mom, attention dad and dad, attention single mother, attention single father. You know, like attention guardian, or you know, and the list goes on. And like, what is the point of that? Is the solution to remove mom and dad and try to include like literally everybody? Like, how would that even like roll out? I don't understand this.
I would say that of all these words on the list, the only thing that I've heard be talked about in my entire life being canceled, and it's not canceled, is the word tribe.
Alright, I'm just gonna go on a random tangent, but like my buddy recommended me this show called Reservation Dog about like Indian tribes, and like I don't know why, but for some reason it just got me thinking about that, bro. Like I would love to be in a tribe making like greasy fried bread.
Greasy fried bread, greasy fried bread. Sweat dripping down the face when the stove's tall.
It's about the rhetoric changing. We're not failing our kids these days at all. We're just changing. We're progressing, and we're allowing us to become more inclusive of a new generation of people. I'm glad that your parents were married for 50 years, but something is now changing, and we have to account for that.
Well, my thought is, regardless of your skin color, regardless of your race, why would you take offense to any of these terms or words?
I'll give you one.
You know what spook is?
Master bedroom.
All right, guys. So here comes the juicy part of the whole entire video. This guy is gonna explain to you where the origin of the master bedroom is. Here you go.
Here's a historical lesson. Master bedroom is the bedroom where master slept,
I understand.
where he enslaved black women,
I understand.
where black women who were enslaved were his servants.
Talk about it.
As we come to understand the historical origins of the word, I think we can agree that was an awful place. We probably shouldn't call it that. Can we call it something else, like the primary bedroom or the main bedroom in a house? But we don't want to call it the place where master my great-great-great-grandmother.
All right. So what this guy just said is demonstrably wrong, right? And the only you can verify this for yourself just by literally doing like the bare minimum basic of like research. So all I did is I went to Google, right, and I typed in master bedroom origin, and the first thing, literally the first thing that came up, it says the first recorded usage of master bedroom seems to have been in 1926 Modern Homes catalog by Sears, Roebuck and Company. Blah 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 blah. Right. So and the issue I'm having with this is like, okay, so he's claiming that the master bedroom came from like a racist like history where the master, you know, the slave owner owns this specific location of the house, right? And again, it's wrong, but the fact that he's saying this on a public television, like on Dr. Phil, what he's actually doing is he's spreading misinformation, and anybody that listens to what he just said is going to start to believe that's actually the origin of like where the master bedroom come from, which is demonstrably wrong. You're spreading misinformation, and you know, I don't know if he's trying to make it about a race thing, but like I don't think it had anything to do with like white people. You know, like a slave could be like a black slave, or like, or I'm not sorry, a master could be like a, you know, a white master, or an Asian master, or a black master, or whatever. It doesn't matter, right? So to take offense in the word master bedroom, like I feel like what ended up happening is like he just heard the word master and he associated with like slavery, and then like let's just cancel this, right? But the thing is, the word master it doesn't really have any like connection with like slave owner, right? There's like master's degree. So are you saying that like master's degree are like only white people that have master's degree? What about like a dungeon master, you know? Okay, to be fair, my dungeon master is half white, but you know, still, whatever. It could have been literally anybody else, but whatever, that's beside the point. But you know, like, where is this guy getting his information? And I don't know, I just think that's wrong to like spread misinformation and like build these I don't know.
I understand, but what my point I'm trying to make is that being offended by what somebody says or by a certain term is a choice that you make. You have a choice to not be offended. You have a choice to not let that affect you.
But you also have the choice to not use the word.
People are free to say whatever they want to say within reason, but
Absolutely.
you're free to respond and react to that however you choose. And I think being offended by something is a choice that you make. You can choose to simply ignore the reference that it has, and to not let it affect you, and to not let it make you angry, and to not let it make you sad.
You know what? Preach to this guy. Oh my God, he stole all the words that's coming out of my mouth, right? So I wholeheartedly believe that like we live in America, or at least us Americans are living in America, where we have the freedom of speech and we can say whatever we want. But the thing is, people are going to be offended about literally anything. Ever since I started this whole YouTube channel, you know how much gone back, like how much backlash I've gone just by like people just disagreeing with me, and like, you know, like people will get offended literally over the littlest tiny shit, and like, you know, I can't control how people feel about being offended by what I say, you know, and like how are certain people getting offended by what I say, and other people don't get offended by what I say, you know, and like being offended is a choice, right? And this guy is like completely right on that.
And to
That's
not
true and easy. I mean, we had to deal with it most of our lives, and our grandparents getting called the N-word all the time. We had to finally be able to choose not to let it affect us, but it's hard.
Alright guys, so that's just the end of the video. So if you like what I said, just hit like. You don't like what I said, just hit the dislike. More interaction, the better. You know, like I really want to get more incorporated and like promote my stuff a little bit more often. And like if you feel like you have to say something in the comment and, you know, get my attention, I'm doing my best to, you know, read through my comments, and you know, I want to be able to interact with my followers, and thank you very much for following me. I know I'm a very small channel and I'm trying to grow, and you know, if there's any opportunity for me to grow like that, that's great. If you have any video you want me to I guess react to, let me know, post in the link. Just yeah, I'll keep my eye out for your comment, and you know, I greatly appreciate you guys watching my videos. All right, you guys have a good day.